Hey, what's up, guys? It's Real Estate Vince. Welcome back to my channel. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. And if this is your first time coming here, I ask that you guys take a few seconds and hit that subscribe button. It makes it feel all warm and fuzzy inside when you do, and it motivates me to keep bringing you guys these videos, okay? So as you guys know, I started a vending machine business with a friend at the top of the year, and the business has gone super dope. We've made some good money. We've learned a lot of things. We've made some strides, but I wanted to come and make a video and talk to you guys about some of the stuff that you guys don't see when you log on to social media. And what I mean by that is whenever you guys go on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatnot, you guys see the fun stuff. You see everybody going to the store and buying products and securing locations, and they're going to the location and they're putting everything in the machine and they're getting the money and all that good stuff. But what you don't see is everything that goes on behind the scenes, all the things that you need to do to keep the business steady in the flow. So what I wanted to do was actually make quite a few videos. I probably make about 4 videos kind of explaining some of the things that you need to do before you actually start a vending machine business. Stay tuned. This one for all of y'all and y'all and y'all and y'all and y'all and y'all. Okay, so before we go any further, I need you guys to know that I am not a tax professional. I am not a financial professional in any type of way, okay? This is me giving personal advice based on the things that me and my partner have experienced since we've gotten into the vending machine business, okay? So this isn't legal advice. This is personal advice, and just take all of this with a grain of salt, all right? So you've been thinking about becoming a vending machine operator for weeks now or months now. You've been doing all your research, you're watching videos and you're reading articles and you're talking to other people and this, that, and the third, and you finally decided that you want to be a vending machine operator. So one of the first things that you need to do is you need to create a business entity. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to that, okay? I said business entity. I didn't say go create an LLC. I didn't say go create an S Corp or a C Corp. I said create a business entity. And the reason why I said that is because there are different entities out there. You know, there's a C Corp, there's an S Corp, there's a sole proprietorship, there's a partnership, okay? 9 times out of 10, you're going to go and create an LLC. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's the most commonly used one. It's the most easily attainable out of all of the entities. I just want to let you guys know that there are different entities out there that you guys can attain, okay? Now, if you go and create that LLC, and at some point you guys are making so much money that it might be better if you guys go and become an S Corp or a C Corp, you can actually go from one to the other some point down the road, okay? So don't think that if you get an LLC, you can never be an S Corp or a C Corp. You can do that at some point. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to go and create the LLC. Now, some of you may be listening. Some of you may say, okay, that's dope. How do I create an LLC? Okay, so the easiest way to create an LLC is go to the Secretary of State, to whatever state that you're in, okay? So for the state of North Carolina, it's www.sosnc.com. And I'll actually put a link here, okay? The reason why I stress that is because there are people out there to where you can pay them to actually create an LLC for you, okay? But you don't really want to do that, okay? You can, but you don't want to do it. There's just a lot of things that can happen. You might actually get charged too much, okay? If you go to your Secretary of State's website, I think it'll be something maybe $140, give or take, depending on where the state you're at, and you're going to get the LLC quick, fast, in a hurry. When you fill out the documents, if you fill out the document wrong, they're going to shoot you an email. They're going to tell you exactly what you need to do. You correct the mistake, and about a day or so, you'll have your LLC, okay? It's pretty simple, all right? So once you create your LLC, you will have available to you your articles of incorporation. And it's basically just a couple of documents basically in telling what your business is, okay? So get that document as well, because you're going to need that later on down the road, okay? But now that you've created your LLC, the next thing that you're going to want to do is create an EIN, which I think it stands for Employment Identification Number. So basically, this number is like a social security number, for your business, okay? So when you're going on the different websites, like at some point you got to get a business bank account, okay? And they're going to ask you for your EIN. You can give them your social security number depending on the bank, but you're going to want to have that EIN. It's going to help you a lot more when it comes to operating with the business, okay? So get that EIN. When you go for the EIN, you're going to do that with the IRS because the EIN is federal, okay? Because again, it's like a social security number. So you're going to go to the IRS's website and you're going to answer all of their questions. It'll take roughly about 5 or 10 minutes. And as soon as you hit submit, you're going to get that EIN number. And the EIN number is free. I saw a post on Facebook a couple of days ago that actually said that don't pay $200 for an EIN. I'm so sorry that there are people out there paying to have EINs created for them, okay? You do not have to pay to get an EIN. Once you pay for that LLC, the EIN is free, and you're going to immediately get it as soon as you hit submit. Now, you're going to have to pay a fee every year to keep that LLC active, but that's it. Other than that one yearly fee, that's all that you're going to pay in regards to the LLC and the EIN. The EIN is free. Don't let anyone else tell you different, okay? Okay, so now you got your LLC, aka business entity. You got your articles of incorporation. You now have your EIN. The next thing you need to do is open up a business checking account. Now, when it comes to opening up a business checking account, the only requirement that most banks will have is that you already have a personal account with that particular institution. So if you have Chase Bank, but you want to open up a checking account with, we'll say Navy Federal, then you're going to have to open up a personal account with Navy Federal as well. And I say Navy Federal, that's the bank that I went with, me and my partner, because they didn't really require too much for us opening up a checking account. They didn't have any mandatory minimums. They didn't charge us anything per month. So we both thought it was pretty smart to do that because while we were starting out and all that good stuff, we weren't going to have too much funds, so we didn't have to worry about getting charged. Every bank doesn't operate that way. Obviously, if you're not military, you can't do that, but shop around, see what works for you, okay? And also make sure that your bank will allow for cash deposits. That was something that we didn't think about going forward and whatnot. So, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of cash. You're going to be dealing with credit as well, but that would be an electronic transfer, but you're going to be dealing with cash as well. So open up that business checking account. And the reason why I say go and get the business entity first is because when you open that business checking account, you're not going to be able to do so without the LLC, the articles of incorporation, as well as your EIN number, okay? One more thing when it comes to the business checking account. Reason why it's so important to open up an account, a checking account, is because you don't want to risk commingling your funds. Commingling is basically when you have your business money and your personal money in the same account. When it comes time for you to file taxes and all that good stuff, it's going to be pretty doggone hard. And if you get audited, you risk having your personal funds audited as well, okay? So if you keep everything separate, if the government comes to try and audit your account, then it's the business that they're just going to look at. That's why it's so important to go and get that LLC and open up that checking account, because if you keep the business separate from the personal, when the government comes knocking, they only mess with the business, okay? Okay, so now you've gotten the LLC, you've gotten the articles of incorporation, you've gotten the EIN number, you've gotten the business checking account. The next thing that, I'm not going to say you have to do this. You really don't have to do this. But if you can do it, it would be great that you do, okay? And you're going to want to go and open up some warehouse accounts. And when I say warehouse, I mean stuff like Walmart, BJ's, or Sam's Club. Because with you getting in the vending machine business, obviously you're doing this to make money, okay? So you're going to want to go and find the products. You're going to want to be able to buy the most products for the least amount of money. And you know, when it comes to places like BJ's and Sam's Club, they sell everything in bulk, in wholesale, okay? So as far as me and my partner, we get about 80% of our products from Sam's Club, and pretty much everything else comes from Walmart, okay? But definitely go and try and open up a warehouse account, and that's gonna help you going forward. Now, two more things, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up, okay? When it comes to starting up a business, okay? If you are going into this with a business partner or a friend, one thing that you're going to want to do is come up with an operating agreement. And basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. It dictates how you guys are going to operate, how you guys are going to split the business up. What will happen if if you or your business partner decide that he or she wants to back out? What will happen in the case of this, that, and the third? There's no standard true way on how a operating agreement has to look. It's whatever you and your business partner come up with, as long as you guys sign it, okay? Now, me and my business partner, we have one. We didn't create one until a little bit later. We're actually good friends before we started this, so we felt like we didn't need to do this. But if you're going in this with somebody and you think that, hey, we might need to have some sort of agreement, get that operating agreement done. Because if something happens with the business, maybe one of you end up moving, or unfortunately, maybe one of you dies or something like that, and there's a question as far as what happens with that person's share of the business, if you have an operating agreement in place, it takes out all of the guesswork, okay? Another thing that you're going to want to do is to create a P&L statement. A P&L statement basically means profit and loss, and it does exactly what it sounds like. It tracks all your profit, it tracks all your losses, okay? So me personally, when we were going into this, I told myself, yeah, a profit and loss statement would be something great that we should have, but I was going to wait until we got the business at operating control or cruise control. Sorry about that, before we was worried about it. But my business partner, he tends to be a little bit more financial savvy than me. And he was like, nah, we got to get this done now. So he created the P&L statement a couple weeks into our business. And hindsight 2020, I definitely told him, hey, that was a pretty good plug on doing that, because you guys are going to learn later on that you're going to have to pay a tax called a sales and use tax. And I'll talk about that in a later video. But if you have that P&L statement, it's going to come super in handy, okay? So for the most part, those are the few things that I wanted to talk about as far as what you should do before starting a business. Get an LLC or business entity. But if you go with the LLC, you're going to want to get the EIN number. You're going to want to get those articles of incorporation. You're going to want to open up a business checking account. You're going to want to get your warehouse account. And then you want to get your note keeping, your housekeeping when it comes to the P&L statement, as well as your operating agreement, okay? So I know I kind of rushed through that, but if you got any questions, feel free to comment on the video, and I'll see you guys next time, okay? Appreciate you guys for watching.